Hey guys, it's Dean with All Country Outdoors. We're out here visiting one of our special sponsors here with Mr. Don Kaiser with Grandpa's Special Mix. And actually today we was actually wanting to talk a little bit about the minerals and the feed, and honestly the whole thing, Don, that people just get so confused on minerals, buddy.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, and we've been together how many years, buddy?
I don't know. Too long. I don't remember.
We have been together about 5 years.
5, 6 years. 5, 6 years.
And honestly, I go by my deer heads because I mean the deer heads seem like they jump when men you met.
Yeah.
You know the size. Honestly, guys, I mean the overall health of your deer herd. I mean this man right here. I mean he's got a wealth of knowledge, and we're going to try to, and I emphasize try to make this video as short as we possibly can. And we may have to make 2 videos on this, honestly, because when me and him gets together. I mean, honestly, I try to take in as much knowledge as he can, because Don did not just throw in some beans and some corn and slap his name tag on a product and you know get it out to you guys. The same way with the mineral too. I mean, honestly, you know, I work shows with Don, and every chance I get, honestly, I mean, I try to listen to everything he says, and that's pretty hard for me, Don. I'm pretty much talking. But Don, on your minerals, buddy. You know,
yes, sir.
And the fancy packaging and everything, I know as hunters, you know, we got a tendency to believe, you know what I mean, all the actors and all that stuff I hear on TV nowadays, and honestly, it's pretty bad.
Yes, it is, Dean, and I'm surprised that people that actually don't know about what a deer's nutritional needs are. Of course, all they see is a picture on the product, and
so big movie star holding up a big buck.
Holding up a big buck, and they said, use our product and you'll get a big buck. Well, it's a whole lot more complicated than that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen overnight, I will say that.
Don, you've been in this for years. You was in this years before I ever even know anything about you, or
yes.
I actually run into him at not southern states, but
at Yoggers.
Yeah, Yoggers, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get this straight here.
We'll put them in there with a little bit of
a little bit of a plug for Yoggers too, because they are a great outfit.
They package all of our material except for our jug products, and we mix that ourselves.
That's all in house too, right?
That's all the jug material is made in house.
Guys, let me tell you something too about this guy right here. This is a family-run business. I mean, he's a great guy. And I mean, not only is he a sponsor for All Country Outdoors, I consider Don a friend. I mean, honestly, I mean, like I say, I mean, I wouldn't be steering you toward his product any other reason than, honestly, Don, this stuff is really good for the health of a deer.
I appreciate it. That's where we started, and that's the class of people that we're actually focused on. The ones, Dean, that are actually interested in deer health.
Yeah, and it don't take no 300 or 400 acres, though, buddy, to change the health of your deer herd.
I've got a guy, Dean, that's got about 23 acres, and right now he's feeding 15 bucks.
Really? Yeah.
And his neighbors say there's no deer in that area. That's what
I believe that.
But anyway, one of our staff members has 15 bucks, and he has 23 acres. He's grown some really nice bucks. Triple Crown was one of his bucks.
Really?
He also has another monster buck coming on this year as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting to watch him.
These are wild, free-ranging.
These are free-ranging deer. I post pictures sometime of the deer, and people say they're pinned-in deer, but they're not. Every deer, Dean, has a maximum potential. Yeah. That they'll be able to do if they get the proper nutrition.
And age.
Exactly. You got to have age. Guys, you can't shoot those 2, 2.5, 3.5-year-old deer.
It's management.
It's management. Deer management.
Don, I've been a bow hunter for a long time. 46, 47 years I've been a bow hunter, you know?
Right.
And you first start out and you grow and you learn, you know what I mean, as a hunter.
Exactly.
Right? And with this product right here, and like I say, man, the knowledge that I know you have for sure, I mean, this right here, I would like to go in with these videos, and I'd like to go in and talk about tree stand placement and food plots, but it's just not, you know, you can't do that. I mean, like I say, it gets into where it's so boring, and you know what I mean, time consuming. It's just, there's a lot into hunting.
Exactly. But our minerals, we devised or designed a feed, and we wanted a feed that was actually going to benefit the deer. We didn't want something just thrown out there with just a bunch of molasses in it or this or that in order to attract the deer.
Or just corn.
Or just plain corn.
I hear all the time, you know, well, that stuff's so expensive. And I'm like, well, yeah, you know, how's your deer doing?
Yeah.
You know, kind of deal.
I've always tried to explain to somebody about the difference between the plain corn price and a product that actually is beneficial. You can't have both. You can't have a beneficial feed cheap.
Exactly right.
Because of the amount of ingredients and the different ingredients that's in our feed to grow your bucks, and for the does to have more milk, and the does to actually have a higher recruitment rate, which means the fawns that they do have will make it.
Yes, sir.
A deer without proper nutrition, a fawn, if she doesn't have enough milk, she will abort her babies.
Yeah, and Don, honestly, like I say, you know, on our place, and like I say, when I first started bow hunting, if you got to shoot a spike or a 4-pointer,
Yep.
you know, back in the day, I mean,
Yes.
that was just like, you know, you called your friends and said, man, I killed me a buck, you know,
Yeah.
finally. But nowadays, like I say, with the information and everything that we have out there, I mean, products like yours, and there's nothing wrong with food plots. There's nothing wrong
Nope.
with, you know, but I hear this all the time about, well, you're just sitting over that feed and you can't kill an older deer over that feed. Don, that is totally not true.
Oh,
I shoot nice bucks over this feed.
I've had several nice bucks taken on our staff has averaged over 60% of kills
Yeah.
with our feed,
Yeah.
and even up to 185 class bucks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Don, some of these southern counties that we have here in West Virginia, there is no food plots.
There is no food. There's no place to put it.
There's not. I mean, most of it is strip job areas,
Right.
and rough terrain. You
Yes.
know what I mean? That's how, and it's bow hunting only, and you're only allowed one buck.
Right.
There's a lot of, you know, good sides to that. But as far as nutrition, I mean, they're at the bottom end of nutrition. you
Bottom
know.
end of nutrition, and they have a higher age structure
Yeah, so,
because it's too hard to hunt.
yeah,
those
and
areas.
one buck. you
And
know,
one buck
yeah.
limit, which
Bow hunting only.
bow hunting only, so that adds a lot to it. So a deer gets, instead of being able to have a huge rack at a young age, he develops it at a longer, an older age,
Older
because
age,
he's
so.
up to the 6.5-year level, unheard of age in a regular.
And that's like down Mason County. You're not going to find no 6-year-old buck, you know, not normally
Right.
in Mason County or Jackson County or any of our counties. You know what I mean? That
Right.
we have a 3-buck tag,
Tag.
you know, 3-buck tag. So it's kind of hard. I mean, you know, and I try to target a mature deer. And in my opinion, if you can shoot a 4-year-old deer every year
Yeah.
over feed or over and a good healthy deer. I mean, that's exactly what I try to do, and our Wise Eye game camera's done this year right here. But I mean, I tell you what, you can actually do that. I mean, last year I had a huge big white 8 over your feet. I mean, it was
Yeah.
a monster, like 20 inches wide. And I started watching that deer, and that deer was coming in, I mean, just like clockwork. Every time, you know, the feed was there, the deer would be there. And I didn't hunt that deer that morning, and I got to hunt that deer that evening, shot that deer just, I think, at 4 o'clock. I mean, unbelievable, you know. And that's just something that's hard to do. The second deer I killed was not over your feed, but it was actually on that property because of that mineral and that feed, because I'd seen him at that feed.
Right.
And I got lucky and shot him in a big hardwood flat. And you know, then the third buck that I killed was in the same field that I shot the big buck, where you know where your feed's at, the number 4s,
Right.
and the Grandpa Special Mix feed. And I shot him the first day of rifle season. But anyway, the rifle buck that I shot him on the first day of gun season. That was the 3 biggest bucks that I had on my property, and almost within the first bow kill, I shot him the first day, and then I think it was the second week that I shot the second biggest buck. And for me to get the 3rd biggest buck, you know what I mean, then I know for sure that from all the camera work anyway, that was the nicest buck. And that says a lot about your feed.
It's a great attractant.
It sure is.
I mean, not only are you getting the nutritional value, the minerals, and the vitamins, and everything go along with it, it is a great attractant. You will pull bucks in to your area.
And the first year, I mean,
Yes,
honestly,
yes.
I've got video. I posted video on our page on his red mineral. Put the red mineral out that day and climbed up in the stand within 30 minutes. It was a small 6-point, I think a 6-point buck.
Yeah, right.
And he comes in and he eats so long that I actually turned the camera off. I mean,
Yeah.
he stays there and stays there and stays there. And then he comes back about 30 minutes after he leaves and eats some more. And I'm just like, you know, most time deer will not do that with a strange smell.
Right.
They will not.
Right.
And I think hunters, you know, have tried some of these other products that's pretty smelly. You know, to start with, the deer, I mean, especially them old does and them old bucks, they're a little leery of that stuff. They are not your red mineral.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
We've made it. as a plus for people who just wanted to use minerals.
Yeah.
We don't state that minerals actually grow antlers, although they help. But protein is the number one key that you want to do and focus on for your antler development.
I'm learning, buddy.
That's just. But we added, when we started out with our feed, Dean, we wanted something that was far more than just a simple hunt over and kill, because your deer weren't going to get any bigger that way. Mm-hmm. You weren't going to actually help your deer, your fawn recruitment. You weren't going to help any of that. Yeah. You were just going to harvest a deer, and you were done. Yeah. Well, we wanted something. We have a farm in Jackson County that spikes 4 points, and if you'd ever see an 8 point, it was a basket 8, and it was real spindly antlers. Yeah. And some of these bucks here are from our farm. We've had bigger than this. This is an example of what we have, but this is not what we've had.
What you ended up
with. We ended up with. We have a lot bigger bucks than this. We just haven't been able to connect with those.
And I'll shoot some video too in my living room, Don. I mean, honestly, in the last 5-6 years with you, like I said, I've been a bow hunter for, forever. But but since I've switched to your feed, Don, you guys, I'll show you some nice deer in the living room I have there at the house too, and shot over his feed. Even the deer in Ohio, I have a little piece of property in Ohio, and I got the Grandpa Special Mix on it, and I keep the red mineral mix right there in the spot for him. And like I say, buddy, that I'm a firm believer in his feed. I would not be using this, and I would not be out here with him if it didn't work. You know, and I know for a fact, Don, like I say, that'll definitely improve the health of your deer herd.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. We also developed a wormer, Dean, for the deer, a natural wormer that it's a food grade wormer, so you could actually eat it if you wanted to. Or
so deer eating this right here, you can actually eat the deer. And,
right.
So I worm my deer with this too.
Yeah, because there's no toxicity to it at all. You can just, so if a deer eat that and you kill the deer, there's no problem. But it helps with the parasites.
Guys, this red mineral mix too, Don. I preach as much as I possibly can without getting redundant here on myself of the ingredients. You don't have to take his word for this. You don't have to take my word for this. Check the ingredients on your mineral.
Right.
That's a good education for you. It was for me.
It's good education. And there's other things in there that aren't on the label. But those are the main types of things we got on there. We got the vitamins in there as well, because vitamins help break down the nutritional food so that actually it's absorbed instead of just being passed. Mm-hmm. You see a lot of labels, Dean, with mineral licks, and they got the high phosphorus and the high calcium. A deer can only ingest so much of that, and the rest of it is passed out either in the urine or defecation. They can't absorb all that. So you think, boy, that's really, really good because of the high numbers. Yeah. Well, the deer can't absorb that, and the body can't use it, so they just pass it.
Guys, that's what I'm telling you. The knowledge in this man right here, honestly, he's the most knowledgeable person that I've ever been around on feed and mineral and the overall health of the deer herd.
I appreciate it, Dave. I appreciate it. We did a lot of work and tried to do a lot of research and develop and put into our products. Actually, the deer helped us choose our feed because we did all the testing and all the field testing, and the deer actually picked what they wanted to eat. And
he actually has got pictures and video and of deer with apples and his feed and different products. And like I say, this is not just throw some stuff in a bag and throw some stuff in a jug. And, it's really not that. As a hunter, I'm just trying to get out as much information to you guys. For the overall health of your deer and to actually help you harvest deer.
Absolutely.
I want my deer herd healthy. Absolutely. But my job as a hunter and as an outdoor person to put out a video, I'm trying to help the hunter.
Absolutely. Well, that's why we made the feed the way we did. We want to help the hunter. And I wanted to give something back to the deer.
Yes, sir.
For the health of the deer. The healthier the deer is, the more less susceptible they are to disease. Mm-hmm. They can fight off a deer that's poor in nutrition and he gets the disease or whatever, his chances aren't very good.
Guys, like I say, we're probably going to break this down into
Okay.
2 videos, but I'll give him a little chance here. You don't want me to come in here and break some of this right here down too. But we're going to probably make 2 videos of this. I wish we could spend like 8 hours with him. I have, at shows and stuff, and honestly, just to take in all this right here is a little bit much. But I wanted to put out so much information that I can, and to help everyone, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And people, you got so much pressure on you right now with beautiful packaging, like I say, and all the stars,
And 8 and 10 pound products for $20.
Yeah, exactly right. And but yeah, I worm my deer too. I mean,
Exactly.
I think
2 times a year, 3 times a year.
Last year I started worming them.
Yeah.
Honestly, my does this year, most time, almost on every property in West Virginia, once they have the does, they really get, or the fawns, they really get pulled down on their milk.
Exactly.
And they look, they look bad. But this year here, I started noticing mine, even the ones with 2 fawns, man, they're healthy. The pictures I'm getting off the deer are really healthy. I post a lot of those pictures there too, But I always mention Grandpa's Special Mix and our Wise Eye game cameras, And like I say, man, the guys, look, check his products out. And just try a jug of his mineral, try a bag of his feed. I use the number 4s. Now he has some, God, I don't know how many.
I got 7 to 8 different blends of feed, depending on how you feed and
spin feeders,
gravity feeder, throw it on the ground.
Yeah,
we got different levels of attractions. We got an apple scented, we got a persimmon scented.
Yeah.
For those guys that like that, we've also got a max protein, which is 33% protein. So
guys, look, like I say, you don't have to have 2, 3, 4, 500 acres.
No, you do not. You do not.
You take a few bags of this, a few jugs of mineral, and 10 acres, 8 acres.
Yeah.
A place for a tree stand. And like I say, the place I have down in Ohio is not a huge farm. And Don, I've killed some nice, but I think the 160 is the first deer that I shot off that farm, over top of your feet.
Right.
But like I say, I'm going to try to talk to Nathan and see if we can get this thing cut down maybe 2 or 3 videos. I tell you what, I love coming and talking to him and spending time with him, honestly, like I say, around the shows and stuff, and learn as much as you can, honestly, about your mineral on your feed. That's
absolutely, that's the number one thing.
Don't take my word for it. Don't take Mr. Don's word for it.
Yep.
Dude, it don't take much. Everybody's got a phone now. You can Google any of this stuff.
Exactly.
This is not fake or some kind of, I don't believe this or I don't believe that kind of thing. You can absolutely prove it to yourself.
Yeah, and that's what we're here. We're here for the guys that are really serious about their deer and their deer herd. And we're serious about the deer health too. And that's why we developed a dewormer. That's why we put the calcium and phosphorus, copper, and zinc things in there that's going to support their immune system. It's all about deer health for our product.
And like you say, if a deer can just take in so much, it don't make no difference how much of it you got out there.
Exactly.
It can only take in so much enough to be healthy.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that's one of the things that we took in consideration when we put it in our feed. It's not so much of putting a bunch in there, it's that they're going to get it every time they eat the feed.
Yes, sir.
Every time.
Yeah.
So instead of just a hit and miss type thing with a mineral lick or whatever, a part of the year when you supplemental feed your deer year round, they're getting those minerals and vitamins every time they come to your feed.
But that's like I say, it's important for overall health.
Exactly.
All right, brother.
All right, brother.
Appreciate you,
I appreciate it, Dean.
Guys, I'll tell you what, like I say, check out the Grandpa's Special Mix of Red Mineral and Maxorac and his deer feed. The number 4s, I use the number 4s. And he, like I say, he has several different products here. But you guys check them out. It's Grandpa's Special Mix.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.